Hello and welcome back to another episode of TIR Insights, where I share with you the latest news, updates and new developments in the market. And today I'm going to be introducing to you this very interesting development known as Pinery Residences, which, if you don't know already, this is the development that's going to be replacing the plot of land at Tampines St 94. So let's dive into it. So here's what we're going to be covering and how we're going to be doing it. I'll be sharing with you the project information, rapid fire style, and to share with you what's behind all this hype for Tampines St 94 GLS land plot. I'll be sharing with you some of the interesting facts about this plot of land that's attracted so many eyeballs to this development. We'll also be looking at a pricing analysis using a past, present, future framework to see whether or not Pinery Residences makes sense for you. And of course, at the end, I'll share with you reasons why I will buy or maybe will not buy Pinery Residences. Hey guys, before we move on with the video, you see that like button over there? I think it's pretty lonely. Do me a favor, hit that like button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does help me to grow this channel. Thank you very much. Now back to the video. So first, let's take a look at the project information for Pinery Residences. Now I'm going to be synonymously using Tampines St 94 and Pinery Residences, but they are actually the same plot of land. So this particular plot of land was a hotly contested plot of land when it was launched for sale. It attracted a lot of bidders. What do I mean by this? Just let me show you. There were 6 different bidders for this plot of land during a time when most plot of lands in Singapore only had 2 or 3 bidders. And I would say Hoi Hub and Sunway were very lucky because they only paid 1.9% higher than the next highest bidder. So congratulations to Hoi Hub and Sunway for putting out a bid that only marginally higher than the next bidder. Now the crucial question to ask yourself is, why was this plot of land so hot? Now there are a few key reasons which I'll be sharing with you. So number 1, this will be the only commercial mall for all the nearby residents within this vicinity. Number 2, it is just beside the Tampines West MRT. Number 3, it is 1 kilometer to St Hilda's Primary School. And number 4, it is actually within a new BTO and EC cluster. So that tells you that there's going to be a huge upgrader pool that you can potentially sell into in the future. Now let's take a look at the land plot itself for this Tampines St 94 GLS. One unique thing that you will realize is that this is not a normal residential plot of land. This is a commercial and residential plot of land, which we will take into account later. The maximum GFA for this plot of land is 61,834 square meters, which works out to be around 630,000 square feet. And this is a 99-year project. So if you go to the UI website and take a look at the regulations for mixed commercial and residential developments, you will see that for the residential component, there is a minimum 60% that needs to be dedicated to the GFA for residential and a maximum of 40% that is to be dedicated to the commercial component in terms of GFA. So let's just do some simple math here. I actually worked out 2 potential scenarios that could happen. So first, let's take a look at a 60-40 split, which is 60% residential, 40% commercial. Based on this split, the residential component will be 37,100.4 square meters. The commercial component will be 24,733.6 square meters, which means the total number of units residential that can be sold by the developers will be roughly around 436 units based on the 85 square meter URA guideline. But for the second scenario, what I basically did was I went to check the press release by HDB, which was the one selling this particular plot of land. And on the press release that HDB did, they actually said that the site can potentially yield 585 residential units. So based on 585 residential units, that means the residential component will be roughly around 49,725 square meters, which works out to be around 80% of the GFA, which means the remaining 20% will be for the commercial component. So that means the commercial component, we are talking about around 12,366.8 square meters. How do we kind of conceptualize this? What I basically did was I went to do some research on all the commercial malls available in the east side of Singapore to find some comparison, so you guys watching this right now can have a more visual representation. So we have Tampines Mart, alright, a smaller neighborhood commercial mall that is only 7,900 square meters. The next biggest will be roughly White Sands type of size. We are talking about 22,331 square meters. And then if you're staying in Tampines, you'll be very familiar with Century Square. it is around 30,400 square meters. So I cannot really find anything exactly or even close to 12,366 square meters. But using the malls that we have over here, you can get kind of a sensing, right, that 12,366 is actually not a very big mall. Now, why is this important? Is because it is very counterintuitive when it comes to commercial side of things. I'm not too sure if you've realized, but if you have a neighborhood mall, right, it is generally smaller and there's actually lesser people there on the weekends. But versus, let's say we talk about VivoCity, a mega mall, huge, but when you go there during the weekends, it is super crowded. So it is very counterintuitive that the larger the mall is, the better it is, right? The better the footfall, the more bustling it is, the wider variety and diversity of tenants that you can have in the mall itself. So why is this important? Is because now we talk about, the residential component. Let's say you want to be an owner for Pinery Residences. Just ask yourself this question. Would you rather be in a development sitting above a bustling mall, or would you rather be a resident sitting above a quiet mall? I think the answer is obvious, right? Most people would rather be a resident above a bustling mall because that will naturally have more demand, right? You have a wider variety of tenants to look at, right? More things to explore. Now, for the commercial side of things, I wouldn't dive too in-depth into it. If you find this interesting and you want me to make a separate video, do let me know in the comments and I'll make a dedicated video about commercial properties so you can learn from that as well. Understanding this counterintuitive model for commercial malls, then personally, my preference is for the developer to lean more towards a maybe 30 to 40% commercial component that will make this entire development very successful. Why? Because the residents there, not only will you be able to benefit in terms of having more amenities, a wider variety of tenant pools in a commercial mall to look at, a vibrant mall, wider space for people to window shop. On top of that, having a bustling mall downstairs both helps you in terms of rental and future resaleability. Now, even if the developer is only going to be building a 12,366 square meters commercial component, it is not the end of the world. But what I will be paying attention to will be the anchor tenants that the developer is going to invite in. Bare minimally, what I want to be looking at is supermarkets. So brands like NTUC, Cold Storage, Prime Supermarket, How Much, right? These are the brand names that I want to see becoming an anchor tenant in a smaller mall because that will bring in people and bring in footfall to the building itself. Now let's have a look at some of the interesting facts about Pinery Residences. So Pinery Residences is actually 1 kilometer to 4 different primary schools, which I've already shown you on the screen right now. And I actually ranked the primary schools based on their 2024 ballot popularity. We can easily see that St. Hilda's Primary School is the top school in this area with the position of being the top 5 primary school in the entire Singapore based on popularity. A close second would be St. Anthony's Canossian, right, being the top 33rd. To me, Chinyan Primary and Tampines Primary, roughly about the same. So I think most people will be hunting for properties that's within the 1 kilometer radius of St. Hilda's, otherwise they'll be looking at St. Anthony's. Another interesting fact is that Pinery Residences is literally a stone throw away from the MRT, being Tampines West MRT. You can see the exit B, which I highlighted on the screen for you. It's literally one crossing over a road, right? You can really throw a stone and reach there already. So very, very convenient for the future residents of Pinery Residences. And coupled with the MRT effect and also the primary school effect, that is why when we look at the HDBs adjacent to where Pinery Residences is, right? And I want to highlight this HDB cluster is because these HDB clusters are actually having less than 60 years balance lease. So why is this significant? Is because when any property, the balance lease is below 60 years, it affects the buying power of your next buyer. Meaning to say, your future buyer cannot maximize CPF usage, cannot maximize the loan that they take as well. So that lowers their purchasing power. And as a result, most properties where the balance lease is below 60 years, they tend to have poor price performance. But that being said, we take a look at this HDB cluster just adjacent to where Pinery Residences is. You can see all of them having below 60 years balance lease, but yet 5-room HDBs here in the Tampines area can command more than $800,000 quantum. And even the HDB estate that's just beside, same thing, below 60 years, easily commanding above $800,000 for the 5-room flat. So what does this all mean is that when all your neighbors around you can command a very high quantum, that gives you a lot of assurance that in terms of the future resellability, right, your exit audience has that purchasing liquidity to be able to buy back from you, and not just buy back from you, but buy back from you at a good price. Pinery Residences is also leaning towards the popularity of mixed developments. So one of the reasons why this plot of land is so hotly contested, with 6 different developers bidding for this plot of land, is because they have a proven case study to learn from, which is Parktown Residences. Also located in the Tampines area, also a mixed development, also connected to the MRT, also having a commercial component of roughly around 14,000 square meters, very close to the minimum amount that Pinery Residences could potentially yield. And it is also within a brand new BTO EC cluster. So very similar. I believe the developers can see the parallels in this and have confidence to bid. And why are they so confident? Because when we look at Parktown Residences' performance, they actually sold over 87% of the units on launch day. Very impressive, and congratulations to anybody who managed to secure a unit at Parktown Residence. Now, one of the key interesting facts that I will want to share with you for Pinery Residences is that they are most likely going to be a beneficiary for the height restriction relaxation. So what do I mean by this? Have a look at Pinery Residences. The plot ratio for Pinery Residences is 2.6. And based on the UI guidelines, we can see that if a plot of land has a plot ratio of around 2.6, they can most likely estimate build until 30 floors, 30. So will Pinery Residences be 30 floors? Well, we have some examples to compare with. In Tampines area right now, there's 2 different condos that I can show you on the screen. We have Tampines Trillion. The plot ratio is actually 3.0, but the maximum floor here is only 15 floors, with the theoretical max based on the plot ratio actually more than 36 floors. Just beside is City Life at Tampines, maximum 15 floors currently, but the theoretical max is actually 36 floors. So why are these 2 condos, right, even though having such a high plot ratio, stunted in terms of the number of stories? Well, very simply, it's because they are both near Changi Airport. But what is interesting is that Singapore recently raised the building height limits near airports after a review was done by the CAAS. Let me just dive a little bit deeper into this study that they did, right? And basically, based on the review, there is a potential for buildings near airports to actually increase their heights from 15 meters to 45 meters. So what does this translate to in terms of the number of stories? Per floor, usually in a building, is about 3 meters. So we are talking about an increase of 5 floors to an increase of even 9 floors. So what I basically did was I just did a measurement, right, for Pinery Residences to the runway at Changi Airport. We are looking at estimated around 4.36 kilometers to around 5.29 kilometers, which means based on the new revised height limits, Pinery Residences could potentially benefit an extra 11 to 15 meters, which translates to 4 to 5 extra stories. And this is crucial because we must understand the whole entire Tampines has a floor level restriction, which if this is relaxed, Pinery Residence will become the tallest condominium in the entire Tampines area. And it is my firm belief that this is one of the reasons why so little information about the building plans for Pinery Residences has been released, because I believe what is happening right now is that the developer is working very closely with maybe their architects, with the CAAS, with the government, to see how they can actually structure and design the condominium such that it can become the highest condominium in the entire Tampines area. Because this is going to be a very good selling point, because we must understand then the upper floors, what will happen is that they will power over everybody else. And as a developer, I think what they will probably do is they will probably build all the 4 to 5 bedrooms on the upper floors, granting people who buy these units super unblocked views, and on top of that, able to sell them at a premium as well. Now, this is my prediction, right? So we will see in due time whether or not is this really the case, and if the developer is able to secure this new height limit that they can reach, I think this is going to be a fantastic plus point for them. Now let's have a look at the pricing analysis using a past, present, future framework. Now you guys know the drill. Let's take a look at the plot of land at Tampines Street 94 GLS first. Based on the price the developer bought the land, the break-even works out to be about $1,984 PSF PPR, which based on a 15 to 20% markup, we're looking at the developer potentially selling at $2,281 PSF to even $2,738 PSF. My estimated launch price that the developer will launch at is most likely between 2,300 PSF to 2,400 PSF. So let's see if I'm right. Let us first look at some of the past prices. So Tampines Trillion, a 3-bedroom over here, 1,130 square feet, transacted for $1,725 PSF or a price tag of $1.95 million. We have City Life at Tampines, 3-bedroom over here, 1,098 square feet, transacted at $1,621 PSF or a price tag of $1.78 million. With Treasure at Tampines, 3-bedroom over here, 1,033 square feet, transacted for a price of $1,892 PSF or a price tag of $1.955 million. With Pasir Ris 8, quite similar to what Pinery Residences is. It is relatively new, it is a mixed development, it is near the MRT. 3-bedroom over here, 1,023 square feet, transacted for $2,091 PSF or a price tag of $2.138 million. Bringing the average past prices of resale properties in this particular location to $1,832 PSF or a price tag of $1.955 million. Now let's have a look at some of the present prices. We have Parktown Residence, 1,066 square feet for the 3-bedroom over here, transacted for $2,455 PSF or a price tag of $2.616 million. With the Orel at Tampines, bear in mind this is an EC, so I have the EC pricing and a reconverted price if it was a full condo. So 3-bedroom at 926 square feet, transacted for $1,820 PSF or a price tag of $1.685 million. If this was a full condominium and not an EC, that translates to a PSF of $2,093 PSF or a price tag of $1.938 million. We have tendered another EC, transacted for $1,560 PSF or a price tag of $1.443 million. Translated to a full condo price, we are looking at a price tag of $1,794 PSF or a price of $1.758 million. We have Seneca Residences, a mixed development near the MRT located in the east side, closer to Tanah Merah, transacted for $2,079 PSF or a price tag of $2.179 million. Now that brings the prices of present properties to $2,105 PSF or a price tag of $2.12 million. Now just looking at the screen right now, you can see that Tenet was actually sold at a fantastically good price. So to me, congratulations if you're one of the lucky owners who managed to secure a unit at Tenet, and I hope that you'll make tons of money when you get to sell it. So looking at the past and present prices, does Pinery Residence actually present an opportunity? The only way to look at is to look at the future prices as well. So let's take a look at some of the future GLS prices. We have Woodlands Drive 17. This is an EC land. Based on the price the developer bought the land, the bare minimum they need to sell this EC is $1,865 PSF. Or if it were converted to a full condo, we are looking at $2,145 PSF. We have another EC site this time around just opposite Tampines Street 94. Right, this EC site in Tampines Street 95, based on the price the developer bought the land, the potential sale price for the EC is going to be $1,646 PSF or a full condo price of $1,893 PSF. Bear in mind, this is not beside the MRT and it's not a mixed development. We have another EC site this time around in Pasir Ris area, the Jalan Loyang Besar GLS land plot. Based on the price the developer bought the land, they will have to sell it at $1,579 PSF or a full condo price of $1,816 PSF. And we have Chentura Close. This GLS land plot was something I covered previously. It is a mixed development but located in Kaki. Okay, if you have no idea where Kaki is, that's the exact point, right? It is so ulu. Okay, but this is a integrated development. Not only do they have a commercial component, there's going to be a bus interchange and hawker center as well. Based on the price the developer bought the land, the potential sale price on the low end is going to be about $2,240 PSF. And we have Dairy Farm Walk GLS, which will be launching pretty soon next year. Based on the price the developer bought the land for this pure residential land plot, we're looking at a potential sale price of $2,267 PSF, bringing the average prices of future properties to $2,072 PSF or a price tag of $2.028 million. So what you can see from this is actually future prices of future land plots are actually somewhat cheaper than present prices. And this has been a phenomenon that I've shared with tons of my clients the entire of last year and this year during my one-to-one consultation. right? So if you'd like to find out what is causing this phenomenon to happen, maybe later I'll give you an opportunity to see how you can actually book a one-to-one consultation with me. So back to this first, is Pinery Residences priced at a good value? Well, to me, if you ask me, I think Pinery Residences is not cheap, but it's not expensive either, right? To me, it's actually very, very fair price based on the current prices in the market, based on what's coming up in the future. But there might be pockets of opportunity for Pinery Residences. So once a developer does come out with their actual pricing, I think that's where we can really evaluate for ourselves. But this is going to be a very, very good guideline for you if you are thinking about purchasing a unit at Pinery Residences. Now on to reasons why I will buy or will not buy Pinery Residences. So let's talk about reasons why I will buy Pinery Residences first. So number one, this is a highly profitable location that's been proven, right? Even the HDBs here below 60 years balance lease can perform very, very well. Another reason I'll buy Pinery Residences is that if I prefer heartland amenities, but I also want high potential returns, I think this is a sweet spot that meets the two. It is conveniently located near the MRT, so I know that in the future, if I do plan to rent or if I do plan to sell, the liquidity for me to move the unit is very easy. It is 1 kilometer to St. Hilda's Primary School, so that's a plus point because then I will be able to attract a lot of parents as future buyers for my property. And if we look at the absolute quantum for a mixed development near the MRT, 1 kilometer to the primary school, I think Pinery Residences features an opportunity being a very low quantum compared to other new launches currently in the market. But I'll also share with you reasons why I will not buy Pinery Residences. So the pricing to me doesn't have a very clear advantage compared to maybe other new launches in the market, where there are other new launches under the radar that are selling at resale prices and yet people are ignoring them. And Pinery Residences is also in a location, I would say, quite far away from the CBD. This is really towards the outskirts area of Singapore, closer to the east side, of course. If I'm working in the CBD area, I think the commute to work back and forth can be a hindrance. And of course, I will not buy Pinery Residences if I am a die-hard Westie. I only want the West. Then Pinery Residences definitely isn't one for me. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you appreciate the analysis that I've done. Now I mentioned to you that I will give you the opportunity to book a one-to-one consultation with me to evaluate for you whether or not Pinery Residences will fit into your property plans. So if that's something that you are looking for, I'll leave my number on the screen over here and we can get in touch soon. Now, it does take me a lot of effort, a lot of time to make videos like this just for you so that you can benefit. So I would really appreciate if you can help me to like this video, share it with someone who is looking for Pinery Residences, and maybe drop a comment down below, why Tampines is such a popular location to you. This is Ian Teo, the top 1% Realtor, signing out.